I'm going to show you what I consider to be the easiest way to write major scales and natural minor scales, even major pentatonic scales. But we're just focused on major, natural minor. There's a bunch of ways to do this. If you know an instrument, there are even easier ways. But if you don't know anything and you're just starting and you just need to be able to write these scales, I consider this to be the easiest way. So, first up, you need to know a few basic things. You need to know the order of flats. So, the order of flats is B. Oh, why is it not writing here? There we go. Is B E A D. Now, this you can remember is the word bead, like just the word bead. And then greatest common factor, G C F. So I think of it as the word bead, greatest common factor. The order of flats is actually the circle of fourths, and going backwards is the circle of fifths. So we have flats going this way and sharps going this way. So some of you may have seen this through the circle of fourths or the circle of fifths. But this is really, really handy because this is even easier. It's even more simplified. And what the order of flats tells you is it tells you what notes in a scale are flat or sharp. So, for example, say I had a scale and I know that this scale has two flats. Well, then those flats would be B and E because this is 1, 2. And we're starting in the flat direction. Let's say that it had 4 flats. What would the flats be? Would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would be B, E, A, D. I can't remember if I put a 0 here or not, but 2 flats would be 1, 2, B, E. Now, let's say that I have 3 sharps. What notes are sharp? Well, it would be 1, 2, 3. It'd be F, C, and G. Those would be the sharp notes. So as a quick check to make sure you understand this much, let me really quick ask you, if I had 5 flats, I knew there were 5 flats, and this is for major scales only right now, okay? We're just talking about major scales. What notes would be flat? There were 5. Go ahead, pause it real quick. Okay, now let's go ahead and go through the answers. So 5 flats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because we're starting in flats. So we start here at the beginning, we go over 5. And we find that, the flats would be B, E, A, D, and G. Those would be the flat notes. Now let me ask you, if I had a scale and I knew it had 3 sharps, or we already did 3, I think. 4 sharps. What notes are sharp? I'll give you a second here to pause it. All right, let's go through it. We'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the sharp notes would be F, C, G, and D. Those would be the sharp notes. Okay, so now we know how to find which notes are sharp and flat if we know how many sharps and flats there are. So how do we find that out? How do we know? Let's say that I was given a scale now. Let's start with A major. And let me write in a treble clef here. So A major, the first thing I like to do is write in a note on every line in space up to A. And now we say, okay, A major, which notes are sharps, which notes are flat? Well, the way you do it is you use this piece of information. You start at C. C has no sharps and it has no flats. So it's the starting point. It's the neutral point. And if we move in the order of sharps to where A is at, it will tell us how many sharps we need for A major. So for example, we're at C. If we move over to A, we've got C, and then we've got 1, 2, 3. We've just gone in the direction of A. So if a scale is just a letter, just head to that letter and count. If the scale has a sharp or a flat next to it, you have to move in that direction. We'll get to those in a bit. But for now, it's A. There's no sharp or flat. So that means we can just head there. So we see A major requires 3 sharps. We know they're sharps because we headed in the sharp direction. So what are those sharps? Well, we have 3 sharps that we need, 3 of them. And we can use the order of sharps to figure out how many, which notes they are. The first 3 sharps are these 3. F, C, and G. So if we come in here, we sharp F, we sharp G, and we sharp, I skipped C on us here. We sharp C, and there you go. You have A major. That's it. That's all you got to do. Let's do another one, and we'll slowly build to more complicated examples. So let's say that I want to make, F major. So here's F major. So for F major, all I got to do is go to, we start at C because we got to figure out how many flats and sharps are there. How many flats and sharps are there? C has no sharps, no flats. Then we just go towards F. So if we go towards F, we go 1. We went in the flat direction. The flat direction is the one we moved in. We just went to it. So that means that we need 1 flat. So let's write down from F to F here, our thing. Whoops. Things are popping up all over my screen. From F to F. And now, from F to F, we need 1 flat. What is that flat? Well, it's the first one. It is B flat in the order of flats. So that would be, we have a B flat here. And that's it. That's all you got to do. That's F major. Let's go to a harder example now. Let's start getting a little more complicated. Let's go for A flat major. So to do A flat major, first, we'll do our thing. We'll write down all the notes on the lines and spaces. And this one over here is a little lopsided. Maybe make that a little more. Oh, that's worse. There we go. That's right there on the line. Okay, so we've got A to A. Now we need to know how many flats. So this scale is different because it says flat. So that means we have to go until we get to A flat when we count. So what does that mean? Well, you start at C still because C has no flats, no sharps. We're told it's a flat scale. So we have to move in the flat direction. Okay, you don't have a choice. You got to go in the flat direction. So if we go over 1, we've reached F. Now we go around because we have to continually go in the flat direction. Okay, you can't just reverse course and go the other way. If it says it's flat, you got to go flat. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we've reached A, and this is A flat. So when you go, or it's C, F major, we go around. This is B flat major. And the reason it's flat is because we went off the side. As soon as you go off the side, you get that flat. So this is F major, just regular F major. But now that we've gone off the edge, everything will now have a flat attached to its name. So this would be B flat major, E flat major, A flat major, D flat, G flat, C flat, F flat. And if we were to jump off again, we'd have to add another flat. So this would be B double flat, E double flat. So that's how it works. So since we've hopped off the edge in the flat direction, this is now B flat, E flat, A flat. So we see we need 4 flats. So we're going to look, what are the first 4 flats in the order of flats? Well, they are these 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then to avoid the numbering confusion, maybe I'll just bracket. So that's B to D. That's our first 4 flats. So we come over here, we say, okay, well, here's B flat right here. Here's E flat. There's 2 A flats because it's the name of the scale. And then, so we have an octave. If you left the top A off, there would only be 1. And then there's a D flat. And there you go. A flat major. That's it. Easy as pie. Nothing too crazy. You've now made the A flat major scale. Let's do a sharp scale. Let's do E. And you know it's a sharp scale. You want to know how you know it's a sharp scale? Well, it's because when we have just a letter, you just head to that letter from C. You don't bother heading in any direction. Like, it doesn't say to go in the flat direction or the sharp direction. So when it doesn't say, you just start going towards E. So it's C, E's over here. So we have C, that's 0. We should just start heading to E. We don't go off an edge. You just go to it. That's 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see there's 4 sharps because we headed in a sharp direction. So the direction you head in will tell you what it is. So we say, oh, we know it's a sharp key because we headed in the sharp direction. How many sharps? 4 sharps. So now we say, okay, what are the first 4 sharps in the order of sharps? Well, there, it's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we just go up. We go, okay, E, we put a note on every line and space. So we have an F sharp that's down here. We have a C sharp. We have a G sharp. And we have a D sharp. And there you go. You've got E major. Now let's say I give you a much harder one. So some of these scales you won't really see because they're kind of like ridiculous. But let's do one you might see. I don't know. Let's do F sharp major. So F sharp major is a bit different. We have to head in the sharp direction because we are told it's a sharp scale. So that means we have to go off the edge in order to get a sharp added to the name. Because if we just did this, if we just go C1, this is F major. We've not gone off an edge. So it's just F major. We need to go off an edge. So sharp, we have to go in the sharp direction. So we start at C because it has no sharps, no flats. We go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're at B major. We jump off the edge and go around 6. And now we're at F sharp major. Why are we at F sharp? Because we went off the edge. So now it's F sharp. If we kept going, it would be C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, just like that. In this way, you could also make pretty crazy scales very easily. But anyways, we have 6 sharps here. So what are those 6 sharps? Well, let's count them out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So everything is sharp except for B natural in F sharp major. So if we go ahead, we put down our circles here, our whole notes. And we have F sharp, we've got C sharp, we've got G sharp, we've got D sharp, we've got A sharp, we've got E sharp, and this is also sharp because it's an F. The only thing that's left is B natural. Let's do another. So hopefully you can see now, this is very easy. Let's do one more flat one, and then we'll go to natural minor keys. So here, let's do, I don't know, E flat. Let's do a weird one. Let's do C flat, right? That's one that like scares students, right? Like C flat, oh, that's so scary. And let's go and just go from C to C first. Let's just write in our notes. This is the first step I recommend you always do, especially if you're using a different way of doing it. Like if you're using the whole half, whole half, you must do it this way first. Write the notes in, and then figure out the flats and sharps, because you will write wrong in harmonics if you're a lot more likely to. Anyways, we're looking at C. We need to get to C flat. So what the heck do we do? So it's flat, so we have to move in the flat direction. So that's 1, go around. Now we're in the realm of flats because this jumping off the edge gives a flat. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we are at C flat. And you can see it's C flat, 7 flats. Well, that's everything. So we've got 7 flats. So that's just in the order of flats. That's our first flat, second flat, third flat, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So we can literally just put a flat on everything, and you're at C flat. In fact, if you wanted to keep going, let's say that I asked instead for the C double flat scale. Let's say I gave you a crazy thing, right? Well, we would keep going. We go 7, 8. Now we've jumped off the edge 2 times. So that means we're at double flat territory. So this would be 8, 9. So there'd be 9 flats in B double flat. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there are 14 flats in C double flat. So that means that we have to use all 7 flats, and then we have to use them all again, which winds up just every single note would have a double flat on it in that case. There'd just be double flats on everything. But that's how you would do tougher scales. So if I asked for something like B double flat, you would just simply have, you'd have 9 flats, right? So, because you would count all the way through up to B, and you would keep going until you got to B again, and that would be B double flat, right? Because these are all the first flats, these are all second flats. And in that case, you would see at B double flat, you would use all 7 flats, and then you'd have 2 left over. So you'd start at the beginning again in 1, 2. So you would see B and E would be double flatted, and everything else would be flat. And it's also kind of a shortcut for writing more complicated ones, like E major has 4 sharps. And so if I asked for E double major, well, there'd be 4 double sharps. Like it carries over as a pattern. I don't want to focus too much on these more like useless ones, but just so you know, there is a pattern to this. So let me really quick ask you one, and then you'll do it, and then we'll move to natural minor. So let's say D flat major. Let's say I asked for D flat major, and let's also say I asked for I don't know, B major. So B major and D flat major. Let me write that down. D flat major, and we also want B major. So go ahead, pause it real quick. All right, let's do D flat. So the way we do it, we'd start at C, we'd go over to D flat. We're moving in the flat direction, so it'd be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we see D flat has 5 flats. They are B, E, A, D, G. So we write our D flat whole notes over here, right? We got to write down all our notes to the next D. And then we say we got 5 flats. They are B. Oops. Where are we at? B, E, A, D, and G. And there you go. You got D flat major. Super easy, right? Now let's say you want to write B major. Well, B major, we start at 0, and we go over to B. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, there's no sharp or flat on B. So you just go straight to it. Don't be jumping off a cliff so you don't have to. Just go straight to B. So here we're at B. We notice there are 5 sharps, and we know they're sharps because we moved in the direction of sharps. You'll find this is true for every single one of these except for F. And if they have a sharp, then you have to jump off the edge to get the name sharp in the scale, right? This is B. If it said B sharp, we would only be at B. You'd have to jump off the edge and go again. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you'd see there are 12 sharps in B sharp, and you would have some double sharps in there. But anyways, we see B major, we just go up to there. So now we go, okay, here's B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And we see we need here 5 sharps. The first 5 sharps are F, C, G, D, A. So we put down an F, put down a C, put down a G, put down a D, and put down an A. And there you go. You've got B major. So hopefully you're totally solid on these. Now let's look at natural minors. So natural minors can actually be made the exact same way. All you do is you start at A instead. If you start at A instead, it is the exact same thing. So if you know how to make majors, you can make minors for free. So check this out. So we start at A, that's 0, because A natural minor has no sharps and has no flats. And now if we move around, let's say that we want to go to C. Let's make C minor. C minor. Well, all you do is you count 1, 2, 3. We moved in the flat direction. That means that it must be 3 flats. So what are those flats? Well, they're right here. B, E, and A. So we write down C up to the next C. And you have B flat, E flat, and A flat. And you'll notice they are the 3rd, the 6th, and the 7th. You're just lowering those. If you want a harmonic minor, you would just raise the 7th back up to what it was. You just do that. And that would be a harmonic minor. But we're looking at natural minor. Easy, right? Let's do another. Let's do, I don't know, F minor. Let's do F minor. So F minor would be, we start at A, because A natural minor has no sharps and no flats. So that's where we're starting. And you count over to F. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we see that F minor has 4 flats. So we simply go on here. We write down F to F. And we just put down the flats. So there's 4 flats. We know they're flats because we counted in the flat direction. And they are B, E, A, D. So we've got B, E, A, D. Boom. F minor, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, moving on, right? Let's do another. Let's say that we're going to make, let's do C sharp minor. C sharp minor. So this one has a sharp in the name. So that means we have to jump off a cliff to get that sharp in the name, right? Just like we talked about with the majors, same rules. So we started 0, 1, 2. We are going in the sharp direction because we said sharp. So we have to move sharp. jump off the cliff, 3, 4. So we see there are 4 sharps in C sharp minor. And what are those sharps? Well, you use the order of sharps to get them. So 4 sharps, they are 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are our first 4 sharps in the order of sharps. So you write down a C, and you go up to the next C, and you have, well, let me add them in the order that they appear. We've got F sharp here, F sharp, C sharp. That's not C sharp. Oh no, that is C sharp. I'm tripping. G sharp, and D sharp. So there you go. I wrote the octave up. That's why there's 2 C's, so they both got to be sharp. But if you have this, there's only 4 sharps, just like we have right here. And there you have it. C sharp minor. Easy, right? Let's do, I don't know. Let's do D minor, perhaps. Or you know what? Let's do G minor. So G minor, you start at A, and you go over 1, 2. So G minor, we'll just change this to a G, has the following. We start at A. We start at G, because we're doing G minor. We go up to the next G, all the way up here. We see there are 2. We headed in a flat direction, right? Matches up with the flat direction. So 2, what are they? Well, they're B and E. So we'd have B flat, and we'd have E flat. So that's the trick to making any major scale or natural minor scale. Now, I don't make any claims towards the melodic minor or the harmonic minor. This system will not work for those. They're different things. So if you want to make harmonic minor, just make natural minor and then raise the 7th. Or you can make a major scale and lower the 3rd and the 6th, however you want to look at it. But just so you know, this is good for natural minor and majors, and you can easily jump to the other types of scales from there. So if someone has like a great pattern for that, I'd be interested to know. Well, hopefully this helps you make your scales very quickly, very accurately. And as you can see, you don't need to think in terms of checking every single interval, although I do think that's great as an exercise. And you don't need to do the whole half, and the equivalent one for the minor. This is, I think, better anyways, because it also teaches you how it ingrains into the circle of fifths and the circle of fourths, which is a very valuable tool to understand and get ingrained in you, because then you begin to see more of the patterns in music. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Subscribe and hit that bell icon for future videos, and have a blessed day.